Hello, friends. So, don't you think it's fascinating that people say we want peace and love and all these kind of things, yet at the same time, the majority of people focus on drama and problems, and what we see on the news is only terrible things that are happening. So, it's kind of counterproductive. And one thing we do also when we talk about desire is, for example, if I told you I want to live by the beach, and people are like, oh, yeah, it's really expensive to live by the beach, and it's this and it's that, and it's whatever, it's kind of like shut it off immediately. It's like, hello. Why do we do that? Or, you see, for example, like a nice house in a nice neighborhood, and you have the desire, like, oh, wow, I would love to live there. And immediately you have the thought, oh, it's probably like super expensive. I cannot afford it. I cannot whatever. I cannot whatever. And we immediately shut desire down, even if it's for the smallest of things. Like the mind comes in and tells us why we cannot have that thing. And it's strange that we do that, I think. But once we catch it, that it's a form of deep seated conditioning and self imposed limitation, then we can learn how to work with the energy of desire. And when you have a desire for something, instead of immediately shutting it off with, I cannot afford it, I cannot have it, it's not possible for me, logically, I cannot make it happen, it's for other people, not for me. How about you stay with the desire and discern what is it exactly that you want? Let's say, for example, you see somebody driving a car that you really like. Do you want the car itself? Do you want the status symbol? The fact that people would think, like, oh, this person must be something because they have a car like this? Uh, like, what is it that you really want? Like, discern it. And then when you're clear on what is it that you really want, or do you want to look like the person that has that car and be cool because you think you're not cool enough or something, and you think that if you get the car, it's going to make you cool. Because that's really important, and that's how people can end up with disappointments because, and that's how advertising works in commercials, is they sell you that vision, that image, that status, and you think, oh, when I get the car, I'll be as cool as the actor promoting the car. But then no, you're gonna be you, and you will be cool when you decide you're cool, and it doesn't have to be in competition with anybody, right? So those are things that we really need to carefully discern. And when we sit with the energy of desire, we can distinguish what is it that we really desire. Do we want the car for the car's sake? Do we want the status that comes with the car? Do we want to be as cool as the person driving the car? Do we want all three? And whatever it is that you discern that you want, at that moment you need to give it to yourself. And by giving it to yourself, I mean like give it to yourself in imagination. Instead of shutting the desire right away and saying that's not possible with me, or hating on the person that has the thing that you want because you think it's not possible for you, and you have to villainize somebody and direct that energy of self hate towards somebody else because it's too much for you to handle. How about stay with the desire and give it to yourself? And because we have this simple example with a car, if you want to be as cool as the person driving the car and have the status symbol and also to enjoy the car itself, imagine that you are driving this car and it's yours, and how it would feel when people see you with the car, when you are driving the car and just enjoying it and having that sense of I'm this cool person, right? Not just because you have the car, but because in general you're a cool person that has cool taste. And when you stay with that feeling and you evoke it often, um, then basically you're shifting states, and for you, all of a sudden, it becomes possible to have that car. Because in imagination, you get familiar with what it would be like to be the person having the car. Think of it as if you're an actor, and for a while, you're exploring in imagination, playing the role of that person that's driving that car and everything that it entails for you, being that character. And when you imagine it often enough and with feeling, and it could be once or twice, but when the feeling is there, all of a sudden you're moved towards inspired action. And some way, somehow, after a while, you find yourself driving that car and being that person. And this is how we work with the energy of desire. We're not forcing anything, we're not looking on the outside. We evoke the feeling of having the desire now. And that's why Jesus said in the Bible, believe you have received. But most people are tripping because they think they have to see it to believe it. But it's the other way around. You have to believe it first. And by believing it, I mean like really believe it and make it so vivid in your mind. And then you have to follow intuition. So you need inspiration, the desire, allowing the desire instead of shutting it off right away with logical thinking. Instead, moving in your creative side of the brain, allowing Shakti to flow, imagining what it'd be like to have the thing that you desire or be the person that you want to be, and then staying in that feeling, maintaining the feeling, and following inspired action. If you're moved to go somewhere, do something, and rejoicing as if you have the thing already before you've gotten it. And all of that happens on the inside, right? We're not chasing anything. We're simply becoming the person that has the thing or is the thing and persisting in that new state. And this is also the universal law of assumption and the law of attraction. You have to vibrate to the frequency of the thing desired to be that thing. And there are a lot of fine print things, you know, um, about this. So you have to be careful with your desires. And this is how we learn. Sometimes we think we want a particular thing and we get it, and then we realize, okay, no, it's not the thing yet, and we change. But this is the game that we're playing. We're here on Earth to learn how to co create and also to learn what to ask for and how to ask and how to open ourselves to receive and give to ourselves the thing that we're asking for instead of immediately shutting it off with limitations. And a lot of those limitations are inherited, right? So the more we can go in that creative space of imagination and not limited and really evoke the feeling and also not limit the ways the thing can happen, because what we do is we hear all these stories and watch TV, the news shows, romantic movies, horror movies, whatever movies, dramas, and then subconsciously we actually imitate those behaviors, patterns, and storylines in real life. But if we manage to be present, which if we meditate and become more conscious and aware, we're more present most of the time, then we're available. And instead of thinking, in order to get this, this is the way that it needs to happen, we can leave it up to the universe, and God has ways we know not of, right? She moves in mysterious ways. And basically, once we discern what it is that we want, experience it in imagination, and allow the universe to surprise us of how we get it, or we get there, or we become that person. And this is precisely the adventure of life. And it doesn't have to be like what anybody else before did. It could be something entirely new for you. And that is the exciting part, that we don't even know how it's going to happen, right? And instead of following this step and that step and that step that somebody else made it happen for themselves, we simply identify this is what I want and allow the universe to create a unique pathway for us that we follow through the feelings of joy that we experience, and inspiration, and intuitive hits that we get of like, oh yeah, this sounds exciting, oh yeah, I want to go there. And not following a routine, but following spontaneity and presence and aliveness. And that's how desire leads us. It's like, oh yes, this, oh yeah, that sounds exciting, I feel it in my body. And then there are other things that is like, oof, no, this is actually giving me like, ugh, making me feel like, ugh, no. And that's how we know, like the body knows, oh, it's a yes, what's a no, what's a definitely yes, it's hot. This is a hot trail right here. And what it's like, oh no, this feels like a freezer or iceberg. I don't want to go there at all. So yeah, this is how we work with desire, and it requires presence, self-awareness, knowing oneself, being in the body, being sensitive, and listening to that inner voice on the inside that guides us.